Hey YouTube, I want to talk about my trailer, specifically purchasing a trailer. I didn't find a lot of content on this when I was looking. I have an enclosed 8x16 with Vinos easy hauler trailer. Also made, overall it's made by Alcom, I believe it's called. They make a whole bunch of different brands of aluminum trailers. The trailer is 100% aluminum. Um, And I just want to talk about some of the things that I was looking for when I bought one, and some of the things maybe I'd be more aware of after owning one. So, you have two choices when you're getting an enclosed trailer, either steel or aluminum. I went with aluminum because it won't rust. Um, in hindsight, I don't know how much of a priority I would put on that. I think there's still definitely some value in the aluminum and it not rusting. But they're more expensive, no question, than a steel trailer. My logic or thought behind it was that I was going to invest a lot of time in building all these cabinets, and I want to do everything I can to keep the trailer going as long as I can, so that I don't have to either take these out and reuse them in a new one, or in the worst case, have to rebuild them again. Because I was fortunate I had kind of a chunk of time when I was able to build all this at one time, and that's probably not ever going to happen again. So I really don't want to do it again. It's something I'm very grateful for, but it's a ton of work. This has a built-in ladder, goes to the roof rack, ladder rack. This thing is great, goes the whole length of the trailer. It's got the catwalk built in, so you can actually get up here and access everything. The roof on here is pretty thin aluminum, like 30 thousandths. It seems solid because I have insulation inside that's helping support it, but it definitely could not hold your weight. So the roof rack, in my opinion, is a must, and the catwalk essential. So you can get here, tie everything off, and it's not going to haul a lot of lumber. Definitely haul your planks, ladders, things of that nature. A little bit of trim, a few long sticks of lumber, but it's not a lumber rack. So the other thing is this vent. I'll get into this more later, but the vent for me is now a must. With the humidity, I was having some condensation inside, and so I put in a vent, and then I put on this, I just got this off Amazon, Max Air cover that lets you keep the vent open and keeps the rain out. So you can you use the vent. I don't have to worry about, oh, did I leave the vent open? Now I got rain inside the trailer. Because I did that before until I got the cover. So definitely. So I showed you earlier on top the roof vent. I added this. I had a hard time kind of picking the location but this is what I came up with. It was the most out of the way. That left me the most usable space on the roof rack. I added this because I was having problems with condensation in here. And it's something that I haven't seen talked about a lot, but I definitely think it's a must. If I was going to do this again, I would put one in right off the bat. I have a small little heater that I plug in, a little electric heater I plug in, so if this thing's going to sit somewhere, I have power, so at night I keep the temperature above freezing in here, and I was having condensation. And so I did two things to kind of combat that. I already had insulated the walls and the ceiling in between the rafters, but it was condensing. We had a thermal bridging going between the rafter, and so I put another layer of 1/2 inch insulation over that, which took care of that. I don't have the thermal bridging anymore. And then the vent, I leave this open all the time. I don't have any problem with condensation. Before I was even noticing my tools were kind of not condensing water droplets, but there was humidity, and you could tell it was there. This fixed all of it. What I'm into it, definitely less than $100. Even with the cover on it, I'd have to look back and see what it is, but well worth it. You need a vent. If it doesn't come with one, I suggest adding one. Has a ram. I have barn doors, obviously. Came with 2 ramps. I took one of them off because after building everything out, I only have a, I think, 35.5 inch aisle. I didn't need 2 ramps. The ramp gets stored on the door. Bolt goes through it, It takes a little while to thread this thing in. I'm probably going to come up with a different retention system for that. But that's down the road anyway. Back to the topic. This works great for me. I usually don't take the ramp out. I leave it strapped on the door. To get if I'm going to park the trailer, to get it off my truck, I have to jack the tongue up a ways anyway. And so making this step is no big deal. So I usually don't take the ramp off. You know, it's like 13 inches, 13 and a half inches. Not a big deal. I can get my table saw in and out without the ramp. Would I get barn doors again? I probably would. I'm probably like 60-40 on this one though. The ramp door is nice, just because it's so simple. You don't have two doors to deal with, but you need 6.5 feet plus for the ramp to unfold. I need 4 feet to swing the doors open, or if I'm backing in a really tight spot, I can open the doors ahead of time and then back up. So having that options or that variability to it, I do like. I have a ladder rack. You'll see that in another clip. The ladder rack is great. It has a roller on the back, makes getting things up easier. This would definitely be on my list of like things to get. I know they make them that you can add aftermarket. I've seen some other YouTubers add them after. Mine came with it all. This was called a Easy Hauler. I think they called it their contractor package or contract or something. And so there are a few things that are different about it from just a standard enclosed. All the stud spacing and the joist is all 16 inches on center everywhere. The doors are a little bit heavier duty. It came with the ramps and the ladder rack. I think that's all that specifically is different. But it was all well worth it for me. I have the side door. I like it. I like having the option of pulling up on a street downtown, or even at somebody's house, or if it's raining and I want to keep the doors closed, it is easier to just hop in and out of the side door with the regular handle style RV latch. And so I like that. Or like I said, pulling up along the sidewalk or something and it's not feasible to keep the doors open in the back, or for security, I just want to keep everything locked up because I'm in an area I'm not feeling 100% comfortable with, then I can hop in and out of the side door and lock it, and it's really easy and works great. So for me, I would do it again. Anyway, probably the biggest thing I think that was overlooked on my part is gross trailer weight. This is rated for 7,000 pounds. The trailer weighs 2. I'm there. I've gone to the scales and weighed it. I am like right at 7,000, within like 20 pounds of it, I think. This is something that is going to gain weight. You know, I know people go through and purge them. I know Ron went through and kind of purged his. I'd be curious to know what Ron's weighs now. So 7,000 pound weight rating, minus the 2,000 pounds of the trailer gives you 5,000 pounds capacity. Well, I have probably close to, 18 to 2,000 pounds of plywood almost in this thing. And so that starts whittling down on your payload quite a bit. This is something that's gonna, in my opinion, gonna gain weight over time because, there's still a little nook here and a little cranny there, and you're gonna get more tools and find things to fill those spots up. Down the road, I may look at putting in different axles on this. We'll see. I don't know if I want to go through the whole process, but if it keeps gaining weight, I will have to because I'm going to be overweight. But no problem so far. Tows good. Basically maxed out how it is right now. Excuse the dog. Now I will say the weak link is the floor. They call it something else. I can't remember the brand name, but it's basically a Vantech OSB sheathing. That's the weak link. It's going to rust. And I have had issues with getting water in here initially when it is totally watertight from the outside from the rain, but when going down the road in heavy rain, I've had water seep in and I'm still working on tracking down where the source is. But my next plan is to help protect the floor and subfloor. I'm probably going to put undercoating on it. So I want to talk about the tongue, specifically the jack location. I had this added in so that I can move the jack farther back. This original jack, it was in the way of my tailgate opening, which is kind of a big deal. I want to be able to get stuff in and out of the truck even when the trailer's hooked up. So I had to move this back. This is just a pre-made ball connection, hitch connection that you know, some other manufacturer makes. In this case, Easy Hauler was using that, and so these are on a ton of different trailers, and so it's just something to watch out for, because this is not a brand specific issue. It's just if this style is used, it could be a problem for you. I've had to do this on 2 trailers now where I've had to move this back because I had the same hitch on another utility trailer I have. So as you guys can see underneath, this is basically OSB. It's, like I said, Advantech, and so this is the weak link in my opinion. You know, I live in the Pacific Northwest, a lot of rain, and so my concern is this failing over time. I'm going to put undercoating on it at some point to protect it and preserve it, but definitely something to think about. I don't know of anyone else that offers a different option, but if they did, I would definitely be interested in it. I know in Ron's videos, you know, he replaced his with a pre-manufactured product. I don't recall the brand, but it was essentially sealed both sides, and so he didn't have any issue with that, you know, the OSB breaking down over time. I know he did. I don't believe he talks about having a problem before, but he's had so much experience with trailers, I'd be curious if Ron did have a problem with it breaking down over time and decaying on him. Hey guys, so just to recap, things to look out for when you're buying a trailer: frame type, aluminum or steel, which one's best for you. I think the steel's good. It's definitely at a great price point. The aluminum offers, you know, no rust. It is a little bit lighter, honestly, over the 16-foot trailer I have. I think it's like 400 pounds lighter. So for weight-wise, I don't know that it's enough factor to sway you one way or another, but longevity might be a good reason. Door type, whether you have barn doors, ramp door, what's right for you, that's a decision you guys need to make, but definitely worth asking yourself which one. Must-have things, like we talked about, the vent. Vent, gotta have a must-have. Don't want condensation in here, trying to protect all your products, your tools, etc. The floor. Definitely don't want the cheapest option, whether it's Advantech or something better with any little bit of type of weather resistance is good, and I'd try to go the next step above that. I think the biggest thing overall is gross vehicle weight rating, or in this case, gross trailer weight rating. I have a 16-footer, 7,000 pounds in my mind is probably not enough anymore. Had I done it again, I would have bought one that's rated for 10. You know, if you're under 16 feet, I think you can entertain different weight ratings. But that said, you know, Ron's trailer is, you know, obviously very well outfitted, and he's got a lot of stuff in it. I know in the one video where he weighed it, it was like 8,000 pounds. I know that's more than he normally carries, but that's a 12-footer that's incredibly and efficiently loaded. You know, can get up to that weight rating as well. So definitely need to assess what you think you're going to have in there. And personally, I'd figure out what you think is going to be in there, what you think it's going to weigh, and then tell yourself you need another 1,000 pounds or more, because that's just the way life goes. Either you estimate low, or you end up putting more stuff in than you thought. At least that's my experience. And then the other one is the side door. Whether side door is good for you or not. I like it, works good for me, not for everybody. And then the tailgate. Keep an eye out on that jack, and if it's going to work with your tailgate, or if you need to make some accommodations there. Appreciate you guys watching. Let me know if there's questions, comments about the trailer, things you want to see more of. Hope you guys have a good day.